connecting your brain and body with interactive games and tests. Why is there no physical activity in today's health physical? Trazer is an holistic technology used to rehabilitate, prevent falls, and improve sport performance. Trazer reports provide you, your clinician, your physical therapist, or athletic trainer objective data to make decisions on your health and performance over time. Measure what matters to change your game. Take the Trazer Challenge. Confidence, growth, connected by Trazer.
At Fusion Sport, we're all about driving human performance. We develop and support a range of technologies all designed to assist people to be their best. SmarterBase is used by hundreds of elite sporting organisations across the globe, and more recently has been used by the military and performing arts as well.
Our SmarterBase technology has at the heart of it an integrated and connected philosophy. What's different about SmarterBase is that it's truly flexible and self-engineerable. That really puts the power into our customers' hands, and it allows them to use it in unique ways that perhaps we haven't even thought of.
We don't tell them the rest of the field, but here comes Jameis Winston.
What is going on, everybody? Your man Eric Wilson in tonight for the Sports Arena. We are back. Football, Monday night. What more needs to be said? Oh, we've got a lot to talk about. And I've got a rant that I definitely need to get off my chest. But before I get to that, with all the other stuff we got going on, allow me to go ahead and get the rest of the crew in here. First and foremost, let me get my man, Fox Sports, 1340 a.m., Mr. John Shears in the house. Good evening, sir. What's up, John?
Oh man, not excited to talk about the Dolphins. It was a day to forget, that's for sure. So, but the Bills were not exactly the better team offensively. They just, our offensive line guarding this way, guarding that way. They don't know what they're doing. So that's more credit to our line just being terrible than the Bills. So I'm not going to give the Bills credit.
I understand. And I don't know if we're really going to talk about the Dolphins tonight. We may
That's fine.
Not.
I'm okay with that.
You're okay if we don't?
Yeah, right. I'm perfectly fine.
Let me go ahead and get my man up in here. Believe in the Pac-12 podcast. This is my brother, a man who I am going to be friends with for the next few days. But come Monday night next week, it's going to be a horse of a different color. Mike Aritunuto's in the building. What's up, Mike?
The weekly champ is here, baby. Look at those picks, and that's Buffalo Bills. Yeah, they're taking a step back. That's right. Yeah, nothing to do with getting shut out. But anyway, I just want to celebrate that the Cowboys kind of ran the ball, and Zerline didn't blow a field goal kick. My Sun Devils lost. That was tough. The Mercury, they're in the playoffs, but they lost, Eric. That was kind of a bummer this weekend. But, yeah, the Cowboys got the win, and the weekly champion picks is here. So, and people hit me up. That's all I got to say. Hit me up.
Just remember, it's a weekly thing. It does change as weeks go on.
I'll be last next week, but for right now in the moment.
Just remember you said that. You will be last next week.
Well, maybe. We'll see.
Let me go ahead and get my brother in here. Last but not least, shout out to Ty and to Megan. They got so much going on. They're going to be back with us sooner, and we can't wait to have them back. But let me get Alex Fleming, Florida Sun, NSPN in the building. And let me just say before he gets started, I know where this brother was yesterday. I can still kind of see the little smile on his face based on what he did. But, brother, let me just say it was a blessing to watch you finally be in the room, my brother. And, with that, good evening. And what's going on?
Man, resting up. I was tired. I had a long day yesterday, but I feel vindicated as to where I was and what I did, and it's only moving forward, not stopping now.
Very true. Very true. Let me get the rest of the fellas in here so we can keep this party going. So, gentlemen, it's going to be the four of us tonight. So let's get down to business. Of course, I got my rant going on, and I got something I need to get off my chest, but I'm going to save that. But let's first talk about what we saw last night in the Baltimore Ravens. I mean, I'm just going to ask y'all point blank, with Lamar finally doing what he has been unable to do, are the Baltimore Ravens the AFC favorite to make their way to a Super Bowl? This is up for grabs, fellas. Anybody? I got to ask the question.
Alex? I mean, because this is a layup for me. I mean, I guess I'll start. How about Clyde Edwards-Helaire just doesn't touch the ball anymore? How about that? If he doesn't touch the ball anymore, then this isn't a discussion because, I mean, that guy he didn't run the ball terribly, but he got the ball poked out by a rookie, and they don't particularly use him very much. So if they just stick to what they do best, and that's passing the ball, and Mahomes doesn't make that stupid decision in the third quarter, I don't know what he was doing, falling forward and tried to make a miracle play, and he threw the interception, which gave the Ravens momentum. If he doesn't do that stupid play and Edwards-Helaire doesn't fumble, which, I mean, they had the game in the bag right there, this isn't a discussion. I mean, the Ravens got lucky. Yeah, they were down a bunch of players, but let's face it, this is an aberration. It's not going to happen again. You go into the playoffs, the Chiefs aren't going to take their foot off the gas. So this is more of an aberration than anything.
Okay. But John, hold on really quick, Alex, before I let you go, because you're calling it an aberration.
Yeah.
But John Shear, when you overcome what Lamar Jackson had to overcome last night and you hit the points, not having weapons around you, and your defense bend but don't break, as they say, this was a matchup that a lot of people, including all of us here on the Sports Arena, we just originally said he's Mr. September and Patrick Mahomes. He does not lose. This was the one team that we were like, okay, we know that the Ravens are going to give them a fight, but in the end, Patrick Mahomes finds a way to get it done, and that did not happen last night.
Well, it did, because they were in field goal range, but Clyde Edwards-Helaire fumbled the ball.
But
that's
again,
not Mahomes not getting it done, because they were about to kick the game-winning field goal. They were going to run that clock out, and that would have been that.
Okay. All right. Alex Fleming, I'm going to let you go ahead, and then, Mike, I definitely want to get you in on this. Well, Mr. Fleming, please.
We should reanalyze whenever we all agree on something, because when we all agree on something, we seem to be wrong. And wasn't it everybody and their mama, plus old white hypocritical men who say that he's a running back, not a quarterback? What I saw last night was 170 yards rushing, 237 yards passing, and quite a few touchdowns, and the triple option that hasn't been implemented in the NFL for quite some time. Lamar Jackson was without his number one and number two running backs and his top corner, other than Marlon Humphrey, and found a way to beat the defending AFC champions. So I never, and I mean never, want to hear that he's a running back again or that he can't get the job done. I believe they make it to the AFC championship game, but they don't win it because those damn Buffalo Bills are just too good. But without Marcus Peters, J.K. Dobbins, Justice Hill, and quite a few people, including Ronnie Stanley, who was his prime left tackle to protect him, on Sunday Night Football, we saw Lamar Jackson go off. So give props and roses when it's due, because damn it, ladies and gentlemen, it's due.
Yeah, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, I mean, look, the fumble was terrible. I talked to you, Eric, earlier today. I mean, when you're going through the line, you learn that in 7th grade. I don't care if you're a pro or not. It's just 2 hands on the ball with their strength. Once you get through the line, then you can take it off. But, yeah, no. Look, Eric, I've been on Lamar since Louisville, and I said, like, every year his numbers got better. Bobby Petrino quits on teams, but he can coach offense. And Lamar Jackson's offensive numbers got better every year, and especially in bigger games. If they had bigger matchups against obviously top teams, his numbers were there. He wasn't just taking off running. Look, I mean, can they win? Yes. With all the injuries Alex just mentioned and that we all know of, I mean, it's going to be tough. You'll see the Chiefs again. Alex's favorite AFC team, the Browns, will be hanging around there. And, yes, the Buffalo Bills as well. But does he have the talent to let them do it? And again, if the Chiefs are going to blow coverages half the night too, I'm sorry. If Lamar Jackson is 1A on the field, Hollywood Browns 1B. How do you 2 guys stay with the short guy and let the fastest receiver just run one? I mean, if he would have dropped that ball, that would have been a travesty. But, yeah, can the Ravens win it? We all know they're well coached. It'll be a challenge. The Chiefs defense, again, even had a pick 6. When you think about it, and Lamar, again, they capitalized on a turnover. He had all those plays. He can make plays. They can win games. I just think when you get to the playoffs, if you're going to see a team that, again, is healthy for that time and has all their players defensively, like I said, the Browns and the Bills, more so than the Chiefs, it's going to be tough. But can Lamar do it? Yeah, it's not a doubt in my mind that he can do it. But the AFC is going to be fun.
And that's what I'm saying. I'm saying I recognize that there are many obstacles that the Baltimore Ravens have to overcome in order to get not only, a lot of us have picked them to win this division. Some of us have picked Cleveland. But for the sake of argument, let's say Baltimore wins the division, the AFC North, and let's say they're the number 2 or even the number 3 seed. All right, we expect them. There is a level of expectation, and I guess we should maybe stop doing that because I think we're doing the teams a disservice by expecting so much out of them. So what I'll say is, on paper and how things look, as currently constructed, the Baltimore Ravens should not win the AFC North because of all the injuries. But if they get these gentlemen back as the weeks progress, now I know some are out for the season, but if they get this team back and they are at full strength, can you imagine what this team is capable of? That's why I say Lamar Jackson was told, well, he's not a quarterback. Well, he's proven them wrong in that aspect. Then it was he couldn't win a playoff game. Well, he won a playoff game and proved people wrong in that aspect. And then the knock was he couldn't beat Patrick Mahomes. Against all other teams, he was Jackson 5. He could do it all. He could run. He could pass. He could stay. I mean, that's Lamar Jackson. As the game goes on and as he matures, he elevates into looking like a true NFL quarterback, which I felt he was, but so many others did not. So that's why I say to you, now that he's done this and the proverbial monkey is off his back, we can't just sit here, and I am speaking to John about this, we can't just sit here and ignore that even though he was without weapons, his back was against the wall, it was Sunday night, the lights were bright, and Lamar Jackson showed up. Consistently, he's done that. I need to see it. But I'll tell you right now, I believe, Alex, I'm going to shock you on this one. I think it's going to be Baltimore and Buffalo in the AFC Championship game.
So does your narrative change if Clyde Edwards-Helaire doesn't fumble that ball?
Yes.
No.
Okay. All right. Then you really can't give the credit to Lamar Jackson beating Patrick Mahomes and potentially getting farther than him in the playoffs because he's not the reason. It was Clyde Edwards-Helaire fumbling the ball when they were going to kick the game-winning field goal. So
okay,
really,
then
how can you feel good about beating Mahomes when it was Edwards-Helaire that coughed up the game?
You just made a terrible point. The Minnesota Vikings were going to kick a 37-yard winning field goal, and it went wide right, baby. So don't tell me the field goal.
The radio announcer. Yeah.
Don't tell me the field goal was going to be good, first of all. And no, Eric, the narrative doesn't change because Lamar Jackson still made all those plays to get them back and tie the game up. And somebody was talking today. I was flipping through the radio, and they were saying that Lamar Jackson has twice as many games in NFL history. He's done it 4 times than anybody has with passing and rushing. And again, I was like, oh, kind of another worthless stat. But they're like, he is a quarterback. Like they listed all these like known running quarterbacks throughout history, and Lamar Jackson's already lapping the field. Like, no, the narrative doesn't change, because I would say they could still hang with them. Yes, they could beat them, because to Eric's point, when you get guys that are able to come back in the fold, and plus, look, there's still nobody. I mean, we're talking about Tyreek Hill. Yeah, you're going to play too high, and you're not going to let him run by you. Well, hey, the Chiefs have to do the same thing with Hollywood Brown, because that kid catches the ball. I'm sorry, that kid's one-on-one, so you're done. You have nobody that's going to cover Hollywood Brown either. So my narrative wouldn't change.
So
Alex,
what about
final word? Go ahead, John, and then Alex.
I was going to ask you, what about this useless stat? Because you want to throw all these stats that Lamar's so great. Well, how's Jalen Hurts have more 300-yard games than Lamar Jackson does?
But you don't always need 300-yard games to win. It's who you're playing. It's who you're playing.
I mean, he's a great quarterback, but Jalen Hurts has, in 6 games, has more 300-yard games than Lamar Jackson does in 39.
And Lamar Jackson's accurate too. People don't talk about that. That's how it's possible. It doesn't matter. I don't care if you have 300-yard games, because when you're throwing for it in jump time, how many times did we crush? I mean, Tom Brady never got crushed, but how many times do you sit there and did Jared Goff get crushed, Matthew Stafford get crushed because, they're just junk yards, they're behind. It doesn't matter. You pass for the yards. Lamar's doing it from behind and with the lead. That's how.
All right, Alex, final word. We're gonna stick a pin in this. I love you guys, but we got to keep it moving. Go ahead, Alex.
I don't give a damn about 300-yard games, because Lamar Jackson has done nothing but win since he's been in the league. This is his 4th official year. His first year, he only started half the games, remember, because Joe Flacco was poo-poo in the bed. What did he do since he got to be the starter? He led that sorry Baltimore team that was led by Joe Flacco to the playoffs and lost to the Chargers. He won the MVP his second season with the 14-2 record. He led them to the playoffs his 3rd year and won a playoff game, and down his first, second running backs, his top cornerback, his protective left tackle, and a couple of other people with running backs off of the practice squad, he led them to a victory against the defending Super Bowl champions. You can hate all you want to, but the proof is in the pudding, and all Lamar Jackson does is win. When I spoke to him, what he said was true. He appreciates all the hate and all the doubters, because he's going to keep doing what he's continued to do, and that's ball.
Congratulations. You won the Super Bowl, Baltimore.
We're going to keep it moving. And
closer than Miami.
Next topic. Alex, I'm coming to you on this one, right back to you, sir, because you made a very interesting point when we were making our way to early bird predictions about the team that I'm bringing up next in the Carolina Panthers. The Carolina Panthers are 2-0. Alex, you told them they need to wait their turn. Well, apparently, my brother, they're not listening to you. So I have to ask you, Mr. Fleming, are the Carolina Panthers playoff contenders?
I actually believe they are listening to me. They haven't played the Tampa Bay Bucks yet. Have they beat the Bucks yet? Have we played the Carolina Panthers yet? That's a no, no, and a no. Now, did I mention that the Carolina Panthers were going to finish second in the division? I believe I did. And that started with week 2, when you thought I was crazy and picked the Carolina Panthers over the Saints. Now, this is before I knew that coaches were going to be out, that Marcus Lattimore wasn't going to play, and they were missing half of their defense. They're going to sweep the Pigeons. Let's not worry about the Pigeons. They already got one against the Saints. They can finish 4-2 in the division because they're not messing with us yet, but they are on our heels. The Carolina Panthers defense is so for real. 10 sacks in 2 games. They've allowed a total of 21 points. They don't have anyone who's passed for over 300 yards, and they shut down Kamara to a total of 8 yards rushing. If you don't believe in the Panthers before, please don't listen to me, because obviously I don't know a damn thing about what I'm talking about. You better take those kitty cats seriously.
Okay, so you're saying, this is what you're saying based on what you just told me, is that they are going to finish second. Do they make the playoffs? Yes or no?
It's week 2 and it's real early, but that goes with my theory that 3 teams aren't coming out of the West. Only 2 will. I remember saying that only one NFC South team will make it. I believe the Carolina Panthers are going to be a wild card.
Okay. John Shear, Carolina Panthers.
So I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. I think they're going to contend for a spot for getting there, but I think they're going to fall just shy because I think that Darnold's going to hold them back at some point this season. I mean, I've been saying this all off season. This is a team that in 1 year is going to be in the running for taking over this division. Whenever Tom Brady goes, he's going to age eventually. No, he's 44, but he's going to age eventually. It's got to happen. So the Panthers are up and coming. I've been saying this for a while, that people are sleeping on the Panthers. They think they're one of the worst teams in the league. If you don't know what the Panthers are doing on defense, you really don't know football. You got to look at that defense. They're so talented on that side of the football, but they're so young. They one more year and they're really blossom. That just one more year. They got weapons on offense. The line needs work, and we don't quite know what Darnold is. But I think Darnold's going to hold them back this year. That's what I think, and I think they'll just miss the playoffs, maybe 8 and 9, just because I think Darnold's going to manage the game, and I think it's going to hinder them just enough. They just miss it, but that's nothing to be ashamed of because this team shouldn't be making the playoffs anyway where they're at in their rebuild. But damn, they're doing really well with Matt Rule, and I love that hire, and I'm so excited for the direction that they're going in this organization. Now, if they could just trade Christian McCaffrey and get pieces out of him, they'd be set.
Yeah, trade him to the Dolphins? Are you freaking kidding me? You don't trade McCaffrey. First of all,
hold on. He didn't say a trade to the Dolphins.
I'm just saying that's what he
never
wanted
said anything about
I just said
you don't
trade for a king's ransom.
Right. You don't trade. That's not happening. No, nobody would give up the ransom, because they know how much it would be costing them of their future. Okay, the Panthers, first of all, Sam Darnold can play. It's funny. He made every throw in college. He also made every throw at his pro day. When he gets protected, and like Eric, you said today, Robbie Anderson can catch. Yeah. So look, this offense will just keep improving. Alex, I had to write it down because I am slow. 2 teams from the South can make it, and 3 teams from the West can still make it because there's 7 teams going. There's that extra team. So technically both could happen. But I will say this with Sam Darnold, yes, he does have to prove it more, but look, almost 600 yards through 2 games, 500 or 3 touchdowns to 1 interception. Yes, you have Christian McCaffrey. Yes, a guy like Robbie Anderson's going to benefit from that. Defensively, yeah, to me, that'll be the question. Like, what do they do when they face high-powered offenses? We'll see. I mean, when they play the Bucs, I'll give them that. But yeah, there's nothing that Sam Darnold hasn't done so far that makes it obvious that it was the right trade for them, and they needed to do. They did it. They pulled the trigger. The Jets wanted to get rid of him. Okay, fine, start over new. But he got out of there, and he's showing that he's just going to keep getting better. So, are they playoff contenders? Yes. If they do make it, then that would stop the whole NFC West. And after Seattle's meltdown yesterday, they don't deserve the playoffs. But it's week 2. I know. I'm not going to overreact. But
I have a question for you.
It can happen.
What happened? What happened to the MVP, Jameis Winston?
We're gonna get to him, John.
What happened to him?
John, why are you giving away? I'm
just curious. He's MVP.
All right. So
Tiger doesn't change his stripes, baby.
Since you already brought him up, we're gonna go right to him.
I love this so much.
Which Jameis between week 1 and week 2 is the real Jameis Winston? So, John, since you brought it up, I
tried telling you guys. This is the Jameis Winston. I tried telling Megan, tried telling Ty, tried telling all of you. This is the real Jameis. It's like a hot hitter in baseball. When he's hot, man, that guy's gonna hit home runs like crazy, and he's gonna hit doubles and triples. But when he's cold, that's what he is. When he's cold, man, you're gonna see what you just saw yesterday. That's the real Jameis Winston. You're gonna get inconsistency. You're going to get, like a Kirk Cousins, you're going to get a great game, 400 yards, 4 touchdowns. Then you're going to get 100 yards, no touchdowns, and 2 picks, because that's who he is. It doesn't matter if he has laser eyes. It doesn't matter if he's with Sean Payton. You can make all the excuses in the world for missing coaches, blah, blah, blah. That's all I hear. He got his butt kicked. He got humbled a little bit. He only threw 148 yards. I tried to tell you in week 1, so I wasn't impressed. And then this performance was abysmal. This is the real Jameis. The Saints are going to go as Jameis goes, and they'll be They might be a little better than the 5 wins that I had mentioned, but they ain't making the playoffs with that at quarterback. So you could just take yourself home, Jameis. Bye-bye.
Mr. Fleming, a gentleman who you covered previously, I'd like to get your thoughts on which you feel the real Jameis Winston is, sir.
Jameis Winston was surgical against the Green Bay Packers. He didn't make any mistakes, and he threw the ball away. That lets you know there's a difference between the Saints, Packers, and the Panthers. Packers, they didn't look motivated. The Saints, half the defense was gone. The Panthers got up for that game. Now, is he the old Jameis Winston that would make inconsistent decisions and bad throws? No, because we didn't see that yesterday. We saw a Jameis Winston that was under duress. Reddick and Burns were on him like white on rice. And he still was competitive. He scored the only points in that game by running in the touchdown. Now, is he the old Jameis of Tampa Bay, where he would throw for 300-plus yards and throw a couple picks? No. But Jameis is not the same Jameis. I believe I wrote an article about this. This is not the Jameis Winston that you knew. He still had poise in the pocket, and he was missing his center. You play a football game without your original center, and tell me how good you will look. The Panthers' defense are for real, and the Saints were down quite a few people. I believe when they get healthy again and they actually have some damn coaches, the Saints are going to be a viable team. But right now, you could kick them, and you're kicking them, John, because they're down.
You told me Ronnie Stanley was out for Lamar Jackson, correct? How did he do last night? How did he do last night without his best lineman?
He had a hell of a performance.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Jameis is not Lamar Jackson.
Okay, so the analogy that was given, and shout out to my man Rob for putting this in. He said Jameis is the Ryan Howard of football. He either hits a home run or he strikes out. Mike Caratanudo, do you agree with that statement?
In Tampa, yeah. I mean, to this point, before
we're not talking about Tampa because
no, I'm saying to this point in his career, up until the start of the season, sure, but no, I don't. Look, he only had 22 attempts. He really didn't have any time to get in rhythm. I'm not saying he needed 60, but he didn't get in rhythm. The Panthers defense made the plays. I mean, Alvin Kamara, when you're talking about it's a team sport, I mean, he didn't do anything. They bottled him up. They made sure they did it. And even I'll say this for the Saints defense, to Alex's point, people getting healthy. I mean, McCaffrey carried the ball 24 times for 72 yards. I mean, that's a lot of carries to get 72 yards. So at that point, like, the defense is making plays. Yeah, there was the 2 interceptions. I get it, but no, I'm not about to sit here and say it's going to be all or not. And yes, Sean Payton and people getting healthier, coaches back, it does make a difference. And John, you asked a question about Lamar. It's 2 different teams. It's 2 different personnels. It's 2 different game plans. So yeah, your left tackle's out. It is a big thing. They also lost their other left tackle who went and signed with Baltimore or the Chiefs. That being said, it's for Jameis Winston, yeah, we all know there's going to be turnovers. It's not going to be 30. And you don't have to throw for a ton of yards. Like I said, it's called being proficient. He had 11 pass attempts last week or 14, and 5 of them were touchdown passes. Cool. I'll take that any day of the week.
All right. So we're going to take a pause. Everybody, back to your corners here for a minute. We're going to take a break. When we come back, you know I got to let loose because I got a rant. And if you can't tell who it's about, then you're clearly not watching what your boy's wearing this week. So more with the Sports Arena when we come right back. Oh, stay tuned. You don't want to miss this.
Generations Physical Therapy has been the Tri-State's leader in physical therapy services for over 20 years. And now we have a convenient location right in the heart of the capital city of Charleston, just off I-64. With convenient parking and flexible hours, your access to physical therapy is second to none. Plus, Snap Fitness is also inside with 2 floors of gym equipment and sports enhancement training through A-Game Sports Performance. So whether you're needing hands-on physical therapy or looking to get results in our gym, our family's ready to help yours. Generations Physical Therapy and Snap Fitness. Multiple services, multiple locations. Experience you can count on.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Eric's Rant. Like I always say, I'm just another loudmouth with an opinion, but whether you like it or not, here it goes. So last week, I talked about the entire Minnesota Vikings organization and how they were unsuccessful in being able to beat the Cincinnati Bengals. Well, you know, if you dish it, sometimes you got to take it. So this one's directed squarely at the new head coach, first-year head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles, Nick Sirianni. By the way, if you look, y'all know, typically when I come to the sports arena, I look clean-shaven. I try to at least look presentable. But see, Nick Sirianni, this is how you showed up to get a head coaching job that, thanks to Frank Wright, y'all ass got. So let's talk about what you did yesterday, or in fact, what you didn't do yesterday. We were playing the San Francisco 49ers, a team that has a pretty solid defense, if you ask me, led by Jimmy G on the offensive side and an up-and-coming in Trey Lance. But I'll skip all that, and let's get down to business. In the second quarter, my quarterback, unfortunately, he's also yours, Jalen Hurts, finds a wide receiver wide open to run it down the right side of the field, setting ourselves up to go up 10-0 over the San Francisco 49ers. And what do you decide to call on fourth down of that run? You decide to try and run a Philly special with Greg Ward. Let me be the first, if not, definitely not the last person to tell you, Nick Sirianni, you have not earned the right to call a Philly special in a game that is week 2, our home opener, against a team that has been known to have Super Bowl aspirations and playing in the toughest division in the entire NFL and the NFC West. So let me be very clear when I say this. The statue outside of the Lincoln Financial Field is not you and Jalen Hurts. It is of Doug Peterson and Nick Foles. Get it through your thick skull. Figure out how to utilize the weapons that we have. Because if you pull more stuff like this, you can march your happy ass back to Indianapolis and sit alongside and hold Frank Wright's clipboard. Because I'll be damned if I'm going to let you embarrass my team like that again. Welcome back to the Sports Arena, ladies and gentlemen. Your man, Eric Wilson, alongside John Scheer, Mike Caratudo, and Alex Fleming. Gentlemen, I appreciate you letting me get that off my chest. Thank you very much.
I thought it was a great play call. That was a phenomenal play call.
Hey, Mike, guess what? No one asked you. Anyhow, let me go ahead, Alex and John. Let me get y'all in here. So we talked about the Ravens. We talked about the Panthers. Let's talk about the Las Vegas Raiders. Gentlemen, The Las Vegas Raiders, 2-0. They were able to beat Baltimore on Monday night last week. Then they go into Heinz Field and beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. TJ Watt is out. So I'm asking the same question that I asked about Carolina, that I'm asking about Las Vegas. Mike Caratenuto, are the Las Vegas Raiders playoff contenders?
Well, if they play like that, absolutely. And yes, I get, again, I'm not making excuses for any team's injuries. You have guys on the roster. Yes, I will always concede there's different talent levels. Some guys are more dominant, fine. They're still in the NFL. People need to understand that. But for the Raiders, they are completely relevant. Yeah, that game Monday night, Eric, we were all in shock last week, especially the way it ended. I mean, come on, you get an interception bounced off a helmet. I mean, I thought it was Halloween already. I thought we fast forwarded to Halloween and there's a full moon out. But look, you got to get bounces for stuff to go your way in the NFL. We all know that. But the way the offense is played, and yes, the way Derek Carr is playing, you did that without, and again, they couldn't run the ball, but Jacobs is out, and they go into Heinz Field and beat a Steelers team defensively. Yes, some guys down, but they still punched him in the mouth. They're still hanging around. And you beat a team on the road, which, again, hasn't had a losing record since like 1895. So that is just absolutely huge. The way their defense looked, stepped up yesterday. My question is, can the defense step up all year long? But if Carr plays like that and isn't turning the ball over, and Henry Ruggs can finally just show, oh, look, I can run by people too, see you later, and he can take that shot or two a game, come on, man. You get Josh Jacobs back, you mix in the run. I mean, look, we've all picked on Gruden, and it's been deserved because we don't understand a lot of things. I mean, I said to Alex last week, their best offense, or when I was in Florida, the best offensive lineman for the Raiders is here in Arizona. So, I mean, Hudson's just sitting here, and that's been a godsend for that offensive line that, knock on wood, is healthy so far. But, look, the Raiders' offensive line is coming together. I can second-guess Gruden later. But, yeah, are they playoff contenders? They get quarterback play like that, you're going to be a playoff contender.
The jury is still out. Okay, look, that Monday night miracle, I'm going to chalk that up to a fluke. All right, because the interception off of an opponent's head, that really changed the game. That was a turning point. Now, what they did against Pittsburgh, now that's different because you don't go into hostile territory down your leading running back and win that game. That's different. Here's the problem I have with the Raiders. They haven't made the playoffs for almost 20 years, and they still got to deal with the Kansas City Chiefs. And currently
haven't won a playoff game in 20 years. They've been in the playoffs.
And was one and done. And currently have to deal with a undefeated Denver Broncos squad and a very upset Justin Herbert. Now, if they can pull off a couple of W's against their division, then I'll think that they're a playoff contender. But right now, no, they're living off the riches of being lucky and for once being good. They're still suspect to me.
But Alex, to that real quick, do you think David Carr, to Eric's question, I mean, with his play, can David Carr make them a playoff contender?
I don't think Derek Carr is going to stay healthy.
Derek Carr, sorry.
Thank you. I don't think Derek Carr is going to stay healthy. He took quite a few shots in that game against Pittsburgh. And even though he showed that he's got some stamina and some constitution, he got rocked. If they don't do something about the offensive line, he's not going to make it a 17-game schedule, which is another reason why I feel they're not playoff contenders.
No, we saw this last year, and we've already seen it. Like, I believe it was Alex said the first game. I mean, they tried to give that game away. I mean, did you see they were practically handing the Ravens the game, and the Ravens handed it back to them? Neither team wanted to win. Like, it was crazy. So the Raiders are still an undisciplined team. You can't forget what they did last year. They haven't improved. The roster hasn't improved from last year. It only got worse. If you look at their offseason moves, they only got worse. So they're still the same team from last year. Yeah, I mean, it's been a nice, cute start. But like Alex said, you got the miracle Monday night. You got lucky TJ Watt left the game. You got very lucky with that because if TJ Watt doesn't leave that game, there's no way you're winning that game. You did not beat them Steelers in Pittsburgh with TJ Watt playing that whole game. TJ Watt stops your offense because remember it was a one possession game in the fourth quarter.
Great.
So
he doesn't play offense though.
He plays defense and he wrecks the game. So anyway,
they're
not playoff contenders. They haven't run the ball well. I know Jacobs has been hurt both games, but so far overall they haven't run the ball well. Carr can be inconsistent at times, and like Alex said, he tends to get hurt, and the line isn't the greatest, and we know that defense isn't very good.
So Darren Waller
hot start, but
too.
All right.
Did I mention Darren Waller? Did I say Darren Waller's name?
He plays for him.
So do 52 other guys.
Yeah.
All right.
Most people can't stop him either. Most
people can't.
Gentlemen, I'm going to call an audible here because my man Rob is truly chiming in tonight, and he wants to ask each of us a question.
Yes, please.
He's like, can we please talk about the Texans choosing to decline a penalty
to
make it 4th down and punt? Alex, I love your facial expression, so sir, I'm going to go to you on this one.
We get to watch them Thursday night, by the way.
David Cawley, like, okay, now look, you were going toe-to-toe with Cleveland, which one shouldn't have happened in the first damn place. You don't have Cleveland on the ropes, but you can tie or take the lead, and you decline a 4th and punt penalty? This is what I'm talking about when I talk about dysfunction in Houston, because even Bill O'Brien wouldn't have done that. I'm giving him too much credit. I despise how they're treating Deshaun Watson. I hate the fact that Tyrod Taylor is hurt and probably won't face those kitty cats, which is good because he don't want that smoke anyway. But Houston, you could have shocked the world. And ironically, you're still first in your AFC South division only because the Colts don't know what the hell they're doing. The Jags and Tennessee had to come from behind right in the back of Derrick Henry, who, by the way, whose usage is going up and not down since the acquisition of Julio Jones. Hate to say I told you so, but I can't believe we wasted time even talking about Houston.
This is awesome.
Like I said, my man Rob chimed in. I had to ask him. Go ahead, Mike.
Look, I can't believe that it happened. When I saw it, I was like, no, you can't. Usually the referee will look back over and be like, are you sure? Most referees aren't going to turn around, but I've seen referees look back at coaches, sometimes and be like, and they're like, oh yeah, no, this. I was baffled. I didn't think they would beat Cleveland. I mean, they were hanging around and were shocking them, but that is the coolest. If I wish I was broadcasting that game, because I had a lot of jokes lined up for that. I would have been like, next time I'm playing a video game, next time I'm playing you and Matt and Eric, I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to decline it and punt because I'll beat you anyway. That's what he was thinking.
So, Alex, if I may use your line, sir, David Culley, you need to be drug tested.
For more than one reason.
All right. So we're going to keep it going. So since we're talking about the AFC South, let's talk about the Colts. 0-2 to start. Mr. Fleming, you said that with or without Carson Wentz, this team was going to have double-digit wins. Well, can the Colts turn things around, sir?
Absolutely, they can turn things around. Hey, let's not act like we didn't see the beginning of their schedule. Okay, we all talked about this back in April and May. That's why we're the sports arena. We saw this early. We said it was a 50-50 coin toss against the Seattle Seahawks, and Russell was Russell, because he always is early in the season. And then we know what the hell the Rams are. Did we forget what the Rams are? Okay, for real. Now, they do face Derrick Henry. I'm not saying the Tennessee Titans because Tannehill has underachieved. Julio does what he does. He gets yards, but not touchdowns. And have you seen A.J. Brown?
On defense yesterday. I saw him on defense yesterday. The last play, he was on defense.
He was on defense, yes. But, okay, let's be completely honest with each other. Let's go to the last decade. Decade, all right? I'm giving you a full 10-year span. The Tennessee Titans have beaten the Indianapolis Colts 4 times. Now, you play each other twice because you're division rivals. That's why I went with decade. So, in a decade, the Tennessee Titans have beaten the Colts 4 times.
Hold on. You got to give context to that because remember, Peyton Manning and Andrew Luck were the quarterback in most of that span for the Colts. So it's not like either of them are still there. Now it's Carson Wentz, so it's a little bit different. It was Philip Rivers and Carson Wentz. Now it is. It was Peyton Manning and Andrew Luck, so that's a big difference in quarterback. So when they play,
you must have forgot that for 1 year there was no Andrew Luck because he went down with injury, and the backup
but you know
to
what I'm
Andrew
saying.
Luck
It was mainly Andrew Luck, Peyton Manning. Yeah,
for the most part.
Yeah,
for the most part. But if anybody has a defense to slow down or stop Derrick Henry, I believe it's the Indianapolis Colts. And an 0-2 team, they're desperate because they know if they fall to 0-3, they probably can't catch the Tennessee Titans. It's the Hydra versus Henry because Jonathan Taylor's being utilized. Nyheim Hines has become their slot back, and Marlon Mack is their short distance back. That's how they were able to hang with the Los Angeles Rams. So not a damn thing's changed. I actually think they're on schedule.
Okay, and I owe an apology. I said it when Mike and Alex and I were together when we were giving our week 1 predictions. I said I needed to see it from Jonathan Taylor to make me a believer. Let me officially say here tonight, September 20th, 2021 on the Sports Arena, Jonathan Taylor, please forgive me. I was wrong about you, sir, and I know you are going to do great things. Mike,
how many times you admit to your wife that you're wrong like that?
Oh, all the time, all day, every day, baby, 24/7.
Yeah, she's always right. You have to ask that question. Any sane person that's married is going to say she's always right.
Yeah, I mean, for the Colts, so far I haven't seen it. I know they played 2 really good teams, but I haven't seen it out of Wentz yet. That's the guy I haven't seen it. I've seen it. I know the defense is legit. I know the rest of the team. I know Quentin Nelson's still kind of recovering and stuff. They kind of rushing him back, but I need to see it out of Wentz. Did any of you watch that game yesterday? Wentz should be benched after that flip where he threw the interception on the 2-yard line, and he threw an interception. You deserve to lose your job over garbage like that. That was like Eli Manning throwing a left-handed ball, and it's an interception in the red zone. Remember that?
It's a shovel pass.
Yeah, you cannot make that throw. You cannot. No, throw it away, take the sack, whatever. You can't throw that ball. You can't force that in there. That was stupid. And not only did he do that, he did that 2 other times later in the game. He didn't learn from his mistake. They didn't throw any more interceptions off of it, but he did it again, and he did it after that. It's like, Carson Wentz, what are you doing? I'm watching that game, and I'm like, you did it once, and you threw a red zone interception, which, by the way, if you score, you probably end up beating the Rams because that's 3 or 7 points on the board right there, which you needed at the end of that game. You can't throw that away. And then he does it 2 more times later in the game. I'm like, Wentz, what are you doing? Just don't turn the ball over and make smart throws, and you can actually win this game. That's what I haven't seen out of Wentz. He makes these stupid decisions, and if he just plays good football for these Colts, they can win games. But if I see that Wentz, these Colts aren't going anywhere. You can't win with that.
All right, it's a design shovel pass on the goal line.
I know what a shovel pass is.
Well, right, but the one on the goal line was the reason why it got turned over. The guy stepped in front. Yes, you need to read it and not throw it and throw it away. But on a design play like that, you're figuring, I can make this play. He's not going to be there. The running back will step in front of him, and he did. Either way, he did sprain both ankles yesterday, so I'm not going to sit there and rip on him. Yes, he has some really good throws, and we know the arm strength is there. We know, I saw whose ever comment that was, Eric, about the right sideline. That was a sick throw because I was watching a little bit of that game, or a good amount of that game. But that defense, we know will keep them in everything. Their schedule, yes. The Rams, that the Rams offense got stopped a little bit by the defense. And yes, the Colts needed to make plays, but you're not going to get a ton of chances against this Rams defense. We all know that. It's not, if you watch the Rams play for 5 minutes, like, take advantage of your chances. Do more than the Bears did, as to your rant last week, Eric. Do more than the Bears did, because at least try and throw it downfield. Keep them somewhat honest and guessing. But yes, you have to take your chances when you get them. You have to be smart about it. But yeah, on the red zone, John, I'll agree with you. Read it better. But that's a design play. Teams run down there all the time, and it works a lot. For Carson Wentz, yes, he needs to, in instances like that, play better. But this defense is going to keep him in every game, just like I'm saying about the Rams. So this defense is going to keep him in every game. And now that he's probably not going to play next week and Jacob Eason gets a start, he gets the whole week. We'll see what happens. But this defense is going to keep him in every game. You just need to make better reads. And I think with Frank Reich, I know Eric would rather have him on the sidelines right now in Philly. With Frank Reich as a head coach, they'll be fine. So I'm with Alex. I mean, you could see this kind of happening last week against Seattle. To me, would have been the game to win. But yeah, when you have to open up with the toughest division in football back-to-back weeks and you're getting punished, it makes it tough. But Carson Wentz, look, I think he can make the reads. I think he'll be fine under Frank Reich. That's a stupid play. He'll learn from it. Just don't mess up your defense like that. That's it. Do not screw over the defense is all the Colts really have to do. But they have the talent. Like we're talking about the running backs. They also have the talent at receiver. I mean, Michael Pittman Jr., Alex, we talked about this. I love the kid because obviously he's a Pac-12 kid, but coming out of USC, like, he made that crossing route that he had yesterday. I know I'm being real poignant with it, but I think it was in the second quarter. They were in a cover two, and there's no way he should have been open, and he just planted and ripped down the line, and that pass to Michael Pittman Jr. was sick. So, look, you have more weapons. It's a bumpy start, but again, unless Derrick Henry runs like he did, it's going to be tough to beat the Titans because your offense is never going to be on the field. But the Colts are okay. They're okay.
All right. Just a question I have to ask, because we talked about them at the beginning of, well, like I said, back in April, May, when we did our way too early bird prediction. And we said, I think, Mike, you were the one that said it, these first 5 games for the Indianapolis Colts was virtually a murderer's row of games of teams you had to face. So we were going to see which Indianapolis offense was going to show up. You have the weapons. We're leaving the defense alone because we know what that Indianapolis defense is. I still say top 3 in the entire NFL. And I guess, Alex, as much as I know you enjoy me telling you that you're right, it is going to come down to the play of Carson Wentz.
And the health.
And health. Yes, of course. We always say, barring health and injury.
Well, Wentz is a different story when it comes to health, so that's why I mentioned that.
No, you're right. But It is going to be what we're going to need to see from him moving forward. So, wow. All right. That's going to do it for us, ladies and gentlemen. We got a couple minutes. We're going to ride out of here and watch Aaron Rodgers get his victory as he is decimating the Detroit Lions.
Mike. Sorry, Eric. So I'm now 12-4 because I was the only one we saw.
But you're still the weekly champ, Mike. So congratulations,
weekly champ,
to Michael Caratanudo being the week 2 champ. I'll make sure I put the crown on your head this week. Wednesday night show. Your boy may or may not be here. I might just produce in the background because I've got a flight first thing Thursday morning.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. Going to Chi-Town.
I am heading to Chi-Town to cover the WNBA playoff game between my favorite team, the Chicago Sky, and our girl Megan's team, the Dallas Wings. It is a single game elimination game. So
Thursday,
Chicago, congratulations off the top, bro.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
What's the wager?
Ain't no wager.
Oh, wow.
Ain't no way.
Megan don't want that smoke.
Hey, Alex, I'll tell you this much. Arika Agubawale, let me tell you, these girls, these athletes, these women, this is going to be, I don't like the single game elimination, and I really hope the WNBA switches that up because there needs to be more than just the first 2 rounds of single game eliminations, and then you go into a best of 5 for the Final Four and a best of 5 for the finals. I just don't like it. I think there needs to be more exposure. And I hope that after this season, that the WNBA will seriously consider extending the play because, any given night, we know that a tide can change. But Wintrust Arena come this Thursday, oh, yes, get ready.
Hey, I just want to say we need to put some respect on Jared Goff's name. He's been putting up some real numbers, and he looks nice. They may not win this game tonight,
Well, no, they're down by 18 with 3 minutes to go.
Yeah, but with that being said, Jared Goff has been balling.
But Alex, I said it when he first went there. The first game against the Niners, I said, look, I know he's lost his last 5 NFC West games, but he knows that division. They charge back against the Niners.
They've been competitive in both games.
Right, but tonight look at the dimes he dropped. That touchdown pass to Hawkinson, come on, are you kidding me? Like if any some of the other quarterbacks make that throw, people are like, oh, blah, blah, blah. Dude, Jared Goff, yes, Ken Ball. The Lions need to keep it going. But, yeah, they were playing Aaron Rodgers right until they let him hit that huge pass to Adams. The rookie corner was running step for step with Adams. But it was just Aaron Rodgers making the throw. But, yeah. But, Eric, all I got to say is I said this to you for years, or for the last 3 years I've been on this. Because I get the WNBA season is the filler between the finals and when next season starts. And a lot of these girls we do know go to Europe and play in that calendar season because, yes, they can make more money there. They make more money there, and you don't want to stop them from it. But, yes, if you start the season, because the NBA takes so many days off in between games, I'm not saying if you start the season, game 5, at least game 4 of the Eastern or Western Conference Finals, right? If you start the season then, you actually get more regular season games and you get a few more. And plus, to your point, you don't have to worry. It's not just a one and done. You can actually have that series. And that's what frustrates me about. They talk about taking steps, but it's like, oh no, we got to put it in the calendar month. People that want to watch whatever are going to watch whatever. We all know that. And I get getting the product out there. I'm not saying just, put it up there to put it up there. It's a good product. People are going to watch. Plus, it's playoff time.
Yeah.
Just my 2 cents.
By the way, Alex. Oh, no, you guys go and you go. I have a question for Alex after you're done.
I just wanted to say, Mike, I am in complete agreement with you. I just really hope that they do, because the time span between the playoffs and how they break down, I don't feel benefits the players. There is a gap. There's a larger gap, we're not even going to get into load management. What I'm simply saying is these are athletes who know what lay before them. And so we need to make sure that they are given each and every opportunity to put them to be successful. I really hope that they do that in the future. But John Shearer, please go ahead.
Yeah, I'm curious, Alex, how the Bucks let the Falcons hang around in a 3-point game in the fourth quarter. How in the world do the Bucks let them hang around? The Falcons, who have nothing to play for, nothing. And they let him hang around. They got lucky with the 2 pick sixes. They let him hang around. How's that possible? Did they take their foot off the gas? What is going on? Because Dallas almost got him. Falcons almost got him.
What game were you watching? You take away the 2 pick sixes, and we still beat those Falcons by 10.
The Falcons were within striking distance.
And exactly, striking distance. And
that's not good considering.
Second only counts in golf. The second, it was 28-25 in the third quarter. I do believe Tom Brady threw his 5th touchdown pass. Gronk had 2 tutties. Evans had 2 tutties. And Godwin had a tutty. So I really don't know what you're talking about.
But they let Dallas hang around. They let the Falcons hang around.
First of all, it's not let. Dak and Prescott destroyed their secondary. And you would know this. You would know this if your team could do anything, but they got shut out yesterday. So
what does my team have to do with talking about the Bucks
Dak Prescott
and the Cowboys?
If you can't recognize that, everybody else did. If you can't recognize that before homeboy got hurt and they were short, no, he destroyed their secondary. End of sense. And you can laugh all you want. Your quarterback couldn't do that.
But the Bucks, my quarterback called hike and he got sacked, in 1 second. Okay, so that's not his fault.
First and foremost, Sean Murphy Bunting is out for a couple of weeks. He's the number 2 corner. You're going to ask Carlton Davis to guard Calvin Ridley one-on-one. Ridley is a good wide receiver. We knew this before Julio Jones left to Tennessee. And Kyle Pitts is a little bit of a problem, okay? He's the next Megatron. He's a wide receiver stuck in a tight end's body with the catch radius that's unbelievable, all right? So please don't act like Atlanta on offense is not a problem, because they are. Plus, Matt Ryan is now 0-9 against Tom Brady.
But they scored, 3 points against the Eagles?
6,
bro.
Six.
6
against the Eagles, 25 against you.
You know what?
John,
I don't know how that
John,
happens.
hold on. Divisional games, everything, all the rule books go out the window because anything and everything is possible.
Except for Miami beating Buffalo.
Exactly. Buffalo's won 6 in a row now. But hey, Alex,
actually, Miami shut down Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs all day, so you got to give him props there.
Who cares? Had a touchdown. Got in the end zone.
And Josh Allen has struggled in
both
weeks so far.
Hey, I'll take a step back if I'm going 6-0 against a team in my division. Bye. Have a good day.
I'm just saying, Josh Allen struggled 2 weeks in a row. That has to be a little concerning.
Yeah,
Tua didn't finish the game.
Yeah.
I'm talking about Josh Allen. That's not Tua's fault.
Oh, we know who you're talking about. Let's talk about your quarterback then. Let's just say that
Ladies
he
and gentlemen,
we're going to
that's going to do it for us here on the Sports Arena tonight. I appreciate everybody chiming in and everybody doing what they do. We love y'all and we thank you for your support.
Thanks for the comedy, Rob.
Yes, thank you, Rob. Check out Rob Graphics.
Rob Graphics, this man truly does a lot. You see all this stuff right here. You see the intro, you see the fillers, you see the rant. That's all because of him. Right there, the man in my top right corner, Rob Graphics. Make sure you check him out on Twitter. For Alex Fleming, NSPN and the Florida Sun, Mike Harrison-Tenuto, Believe in the Pac-12 podcast, who I have the pleasure of seeing next month. Let me get Alex in here.
Next Monday night's going to be lit. You guys do not want to miss that.
Yeah, Mike and I are going to have the game, and Mike and myself. We'll let Alex and John and Megan and Ty join in at halftime if they want to, but Mike and I are going to be going at it. This is a rivalry that extends 12 years between the two of us. And like I said previously, we're 1-1, which is kind of where I figured we would be, as is Dallas. So as far as I see it, Monday night's the rubber match because the team in the NFC East that is going to win, I said it's unfortunately they're going to be his team or my team. We set the tone coming up this Monday night. So as T.O. says, get your popcorn ready because me and Mike going to have some fun on this one. You think Peyton and Eli is fun to watch? Watch me and Mike on Monday night when we talk about the Eagles and the Cowboys.
It will be for the early lead of the NFC East.
Theo has a lot to.
Washington is going to get worked week.
Theo has a lot to say about McNabb.
Well,
that's
another story for another time. For all of us at the Sports Arena, Alex Fleming, Mike Harrison-Tenuto, and John Sheary, man, Eric Wilson. We will see y'all on Wednesday night. And Mike, I promise you, we will get in some college football on Wednesday night.
I'm bitter. I'm just going to tell you right now, I'm bitter.